Well, I got me a couple of new toys that should help with this project a little bit. I got a new iron. This is a Cover It 21st century iron. It's got precise electronic temperature control with an advanced thermostat and a shoe that glides over all corners. It's actually got some Teflon coating on this, so maybe that stuff won't stick to it like it does the other one. And it's got temperature control here to adjust it. We'll see how accurate that is. Now towards that end, I got a little infrared thermometer. I've had one before. I've got a little one, but it keeps, battery goes dead on it whenever you're not using it. So this one's got a couple laser beams on it, so you can hit the right point on it exactly or something. Anyway, yeah, anyway, you know where you're shooting at. So hopefully that'll help with the calibration of those irons. You never know what the temperature of the iron is, even after you set it on the thermometer and calibrate it and mark it. You still, these irons, the rheostats they have in them are not necessarily very accurate, so they don't always set up at the same place time after time when you turn them on and off. So that should help with that, making sure. When I'm worried about it for doing the heat setting of the glue and stuff, like the poly brush and whatnot, because you don't want the iron hot enough on that you shrink the fabric. And you also don't want to go above the 350 degree mark when you're shrinking the fabric. Now the other thing I got, this will help me figure out what time it is, how long I've been working, and how late it is. I got me a little clock there. I had the clock before on the wall. It was one of those Sears ones that's made on a saw blade or something, and it's always hard to see, and it's in the wrong spot in here. That one's right over the workbench, so I should be able to keep track of the time there now. I'm going to try out my new Cover It 21st century iron with precise electronic temperature control and advanced thermostat and all that stuff. Solid state electronics with precise temperature control. I'm going to try it out. And I got my new little infrared thermometer, and I had this thing set. Here's the dial here, the little teeny dial, and I had it set for what looked to be 225, about halfway between 200 and 250, and I checked it out with my super duper infrared heat gun there. Now it's 215. It was 256 on there, what the temperature went up to. Now it's down to 213. I want 225 or so. And the light's not on here, so it's still going down in temperature. I'll turn that up just a little bit. Now the light's blinking. Well, that's supposed to mean that the temperature is fixed, I think. We got 215, 218, 221, now 227. It varies depending on where it's at on that thing. 215 out there, 231 right there, 221, and then out here on the edge it's 224. Alright, it's coming up now. I didn't move it that much. I'll try to get it set just a little bit more down. Now the light went off, so the temperature should be dropping, and that light should come on when the temperature gets to whatever that rheostat's set at. Well, I don't see where the thing is at super high tech. I suppose with the lack of mass on that thing, it's bound to be variable on there as far as the temperature goes, depending on where it's at. Right under the heating element it's going to be a little more, and as you get out to the edges it's going to be a little less. Oh, that's pretty close. About anywhere from 219 to 230, depending on where on the bottom it's at. So, okay, I think that's not too bad. Well, the nitrile gloves don't work too well with this polyfiber stuff. Of course, the MEK just eats them right up and they fall to pieces, and then they glue themselves right into the vinyl, and the solvents in the vinyls and stuff like the Polytac and help dissolves it too, and then it sticks to it and tears them, and anyway they make a mess. So wearing gloves, it doesn't really work too well with this stuff. Well, I've been using this stuff here, invisible gloves. I had some that I used before when we did it 10 years ago, but they don't have a very long shelf life. It says 3 years if it's tightly capped, and the stuff was kind of slimy. So I bought this stuff up at Stoddard's in Anchorage when we were, Stoddard's, when I bought the fuselage, and I've had it, and I used it, and it worked pretty good, but it's kind of loose in there, kind of wet and slimy. And this all gone now. I knew I was running out of it. I used this whole tube just in what we've done here lately on the airframe. I just opened it up when I started doing the fabric work. So you might not use as much if you're doing everything all at once and doing it all together, but when you stop and start, every time you go wash your hands, it washes off. So anyway, I ran out of that. I used the last of it up last night. I knew I was running out, so I looked on eBay to see what I could find there, if I could find some more of that stuff, and I found this stuff here, and it's a bigger tube and it's creamier. I just tried it the first time, and it goes on, it's not as wet when it goes on, and it seems like it dries out a little faster, and it's a little stickier. It just finally dried out. You can't see it on your hands when it's done, but it's white creamy stuff. So I want to try it, but it was 28 bucks shipped from an auto body place in Everett or someplace in Washington, I don't know, but that was the least expensive stuff that I could find.